Hello, hello! Avatar The Last Airbender is a show that needs no introduction. It's probably one of the most well-known and beloved cartoons ever made, and recently it got adapted into a live-action series by Netflix. My initial reaction was to be cautiously optimistic. After all, this was the same company that had just put out the One Piece adaptation. But it was also the same that gave us all of this. Still, I gave it a shot, and here are my thoughts. Okay, let me explain. I did not grow up watching the original series. I actually only watched it to completion when I was 18. Before that, I had caught a few episodes here and there, but not much more. I say this to explain that I don't have any real nostalgia for the animated series. I just like it because it's genuinely amazing. The setting, the animation, and more importantly, the characters are so well written that the show still holds up, and is arguably better than most series released since. And I feel like the Netflix adaptation did not quite understand the most important part of the original show's success: the character writing. Drew Gooden already made a video basically discussing this, and plenty of others have essentially said the same thing. So I wanted to focus on one particular scene that, to me, exemplifies everything wrong with the adaptation and its misunderstanding of the original series. By the way, spoilers for both versions of the story. At the end of season 1 of both shows, one of the main antagonists of the series thus far dies. General Zhao was a rather insignificant member of the Fire Nation's army, and opportunistically decided to pursue the Avatar, invade the Northern Water Tribe, and antagonize Prince Zuko. He was a prideful leader and one that valued his own standing in his nation over common sense. Like, seriously, destroying the moon is just stupid on every conceivable level. A huge part of his story is also focused on how he tries to screw over Zuko to achieve his personal glory, and how these actions make him a rather irredeemable monster. In the original show, his last moments are spent fighting Zuko until the ocean spirit grabs him and tries to drown him. Despite his actions against him, the prince still rushes over to help the man, who in turn denies the only salvation he has because of his pride. This moment tells the viewer two very important things. One, Zuko doesn't want to see anyone die unnecessarily, and two, Zhao's actions and attitude lead to his own downfall. Both points help us connect with Zuko more, because they show that he's a good person underneath everything, and that his end could be like that if he were to not change his own attitudes. The live-action version fucks this up in a way I can only describe as monumental. Zuko and Zhao do fight, but the general is killed not by the ocean spirit, the being he wronged and whose fury he unleashed to the world, but by fucking Iroh. Zhao is about to kill Zuko, and out of nowhere, Iroh shoots a fireball from off-screen and the man just falls into the river, never to be seen again. Why? Yes, Iroh was enraged at Zhao's actions, but by doing this you remove the most important part of his death: the fact that it was very directly caused by his own pride. Instead, in this version, it's more of Iroh saving Zuko than Zhao refusing to be saved. You might notice that this change also hurts Zuko, as now we don't have a moment that shows that despite fighting someone who tried to kill him, he still didn't want to see the man die. Yes, the show does show that Zuko is good because he saves the troops he's currently sailing with, but it's one thing to save innocent troops than it is to save an enemy. I believe the latter holds more weight, as it's something many people just wouldn't do. This small scene was changed in a way that completely misses the point the original was trying to make, at least in my opinion. It encapsulates how the writers didn't care to convey the ideas of the animated series, just the look of it, something that was similar enough to grab attention with cool-looking effects and action sequences, but without the thought or vision the original had. There are more examples of this, but by far this was the one I hated the most. Overall, the show was quite disappointing, and now I worry about what other changes they'll do that'll gut the narrative. Oh well. At least it's still better than Korra.